Hey everyone, it's Tim. Welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be the fourth installment of the Mandalorian helmet modification kind of project that I've been working on. In the last video, we kind of prepped up some of the things on the helmet. We blocked off some holes. We secured the USB cable. We didn't want to get anything inside those ports and the holes where the air travels through. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go in and do some light sanding, might even use the Dremel a little bit, tiny files. We don't want to go too crazy. Just a couple things to touch up. Like I've said in the past, this is from April Storm's Props. She's done a great job in prepping and priming the helmet. There's just a few things that I'm going to clean up a little bit because I'm just kind of nitpicky like that. Realistically, if I didn't care, I probably could have just started painting right away and it still would look awesome when I was done. This is just me wanting to be super proud of it and wanting it to look exactly the way I want it. So I'm sure I'm still gonna find some things that I'm gonna mess up and I'm gonna make it worse. But as long as I'm having fun, who cares? So in today's video, we're gonna take the helmet that we had kind of buttoned up last time, and we're gonna dive in. We're gonna do some light filing on a couple of these pieces, light sanding. Really not gonna do a ton. The inside of the helmet has a couple places where we are gonna do a little heavier filing and sanding than some Bondo work, and it's simply because I want to just have a smooth surface so that when I prime it and paint it, I can end up having a nice surface to put the helmet pads that I bought to put up inside so that it fits my skull just the way I want it. So yeah, let's dive in, and I'll probably end up going fast through some of the video just so it's not another like 25-minute video of you just watching me slowly go through sanding. I'll speed it up a little bit for you so it's not that monotonous to watch. So yeah, let's check it out. Let's get into it, and hope you enjoy. All right, thanks. So as you remember from last time, what we did in episode 2, I believe, we went through and very lightly sanded down the rangefinder and the stock. We got this to the point where we really like it. It feels good. So this is all sanded and prepped. The only thing I want to do is a little Bondo that we're probably going to do in the next episode. Today we're going to focus on doing some sanding, and then we'll bring it to the point where anything that needs Bondo, we'll do that in one shot. So that will be in episode 5. So let's put this off to the side for now because that's ready for this step. So what we're going to do is some very light sanding on the right earpiece. Mainly down here, there's just some kind of scraggly stuff. I mean, obviously back here has the texture from the bed from the way she printed it, but I don't care about that. That's going to be glued up against the side of the helmet. Nobody's ever going to see that. It's going to be hidden, not value added. This right here, though, people are going to see if they look at it from underneath. That gets mounted right in here, and then the screw passes through. So because of the fact that you're going to be able to see just a little bit, I'm going to spend a couple seconds doing that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch up some spots along this channel where like a tiny piece of string came out from during the printing. Might do some light sanding on the bottom here to prep for doing the Bondo. Most of the outside of the helmet is like ready to go. As you can see, like she did a great job making that super smooth. Inside here looks nice. I'm really not going to touch any of this. I might very lightly. There's some rough spots here. But a lot of it is going to be basically just kind of light touch-ups. You can see there's a little bit of dab here where the primer maybe like dripped a hair. But for the most part, it's there. And the fact that we're going to put another coat of primer on, where they're going to do 2 coats of paint, this is going to look good by the time we're done. And then there's just some stringing that happened in here in the back for the vents. So yeah, let's dive in. We'll get this looking good in a couple minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably play this at like 2x speed, just so you don't get bored watching me go through. And yeah, then we'll go from there. So all right, enjoy. So all in all, that turned out pretty good. As you saw, we did some light sanding along the bottom of the right earpiece. We did some light sanding going all around. We popped a 1/4 inch hole in for the right earpiece to go through. We spent a lot of time here on the vent in the back to make that look good. Prepped the bottom, made that kind of nice and smooth. You know, if I really wasn't worried about the aesthetics at all, I could probably almost call that done. But I'm going to take the Bondo, fill in some of these holes, try to get a nice smooth surface, and then, you know, then we can paint over it. I don't want to go too crazy, because as you can see the way the pattern was, I started going through the base layer. So now I basically kind of recreate the base layer, you know, with the Bondo, strengthen up a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, this is ready to go. Yeah, just some little string in here and there. The only thing I didn't really do, that I'm not saying I'm disappointed in it, but it's kind of, you got to understand the limitations of the fabrication method that you're working with. You know, some people are making helmets out of, you know, like cast materials, and, you know, maybe you can machine and form an awesome mold, and then you can make an awesome, you know, part from it. But 3D printing, you know, this was made in the fall of 2020. You might be laughing about this 10 years from now or something, with how technology changes from there. But, you know, fused filament has its limitations. The nice thing is, though, it's cheap, it's economical. You can make pretty decent sized parts, and it works for what I was trying to do. But because of that, you know, I ended up with some rough spots here. My fear is if I started going in crazy and really sanding everything, that I would end up just making gouges, or I'd wear away this surface, and to make that look better, I'd make something else look worse. You know, you really just kind of want to not necessarily cut your losses, but understand the circumstances that you're working within and be realistic. And plus, I mean, I'm going to end up doing some coats of paint. You know, I'm going to make it look good. It's going to be nice in the end. I'm going to be very happy. As you saw, I took the Dremel to the underside down here. It still looks like a mess, but my goal was to just get rid of the really hardcore kind of profile of the strings coming up from the filament. I just knocked it all down. Didn't make it smooth per se, but now I can just put the Bondo in there, fill in all the holes, make it a little bit higher than it needs to be, sand it kind of nice and smooth, and it'll give me a good surface to stick on all the pads for when I want to adjust it to my head size. All in all, you know, that was pretty straightforward. As you saw, for me, it was about 25 minutes worth of work. Sped it up a little bit for you to make it easier on your eyes. But yeah, I, you know, might hit a couple little spots with some sandpaper, but realistically, I mean, that was it. So yeah, what we're going to do next in episode 5, we'll take some of the Bondo, and we'll end up filling in some of those little holes. You know, we can use some popsicle sticks and, you know, kind of wipe it up, let it cure, and then we can sand it up. And then basically after that, we'll be ready to start priming. So it's perfect timing because, you know, here, this is late March 2021 here in the Northeast. It hit, I think, like 70 degrees today, so it's actually kind of, you know, we got like the full spring coming on. I'm sure we still got another snowstorm, but what I'm kind of hoping is that I can start priming and painting this weekend. And then, you know, in between on nice days, I can go out and do more coats and start letting it cure up. So yeah, we're going to have a finished helmet before you know it. So thanks again for coming along on the ride. And yeah, check back in for the next episode, and we'll see where it goes from there. All right, thanks again, and have a good night.